It is exactly 4 p.m. on a Tuesday, and you are currently sitting in the exact same spot where you woke up 8 hours ago. The sun is starting to dip just low enough that the shadows in your room are getting long, sharp, and judgmental. You haven't showered. You haven't touched that massive assignment that's due at midnight. Your phone tells you that your screen time is already at 7 hours, and most of that was spent watching other people live the life you're supposed to be building. You feel that heavy, cold weight in the pit of your stomach. The day is ruined realization. You've already decided that today is a write off. You're telling yourself that you'll just start fresh tomorrow, hit the gym at 6 a.m., and finally become that version of yourself. But we both know that's a lie. Tomorrow is just going to be a repeat of today because you haven't fixed the system. What if I told you that the next 4 hours matter more than the previous 12 combined? This is the 4 p.m. rule, and it is the only thing standing between you and another year of wasted potential. Most productivity advice is built for people who already have their lives together. They tell you to wake up at 5 a.m., drink a gallon of water, and meditate for an hour. But that advice is useless when you've already failed the morning. When you've spent the day procrastinating, your ego is bruised. You feel like a failure, so you seek comfort in more scrolling, which makes you feel like a bigger failure. It's a downward spiral that ends with you ordering takeout and going to bed at 2 a.m., feeling even more behind. The 4 p.m. rule is a psychological circuit breaker. It's designed to salvage your output and, more importantly, your self respect. We aren't trying to have a perfect day anymore. We are trying to have a non zero day. But before we get into the actual steps, you have to understand why your brain is currently fighting you. You're in a state of decision paralysis, and the only way out is a complete system reset. The first step of the 4 p.m. rule is the physical hard reboot. You cannot fix a messy mind and a messy body. Right now, you probably feel physically heavy and mentally foggy. I want you to go to the bathroom and splash freezing cold water on your face for 30 seconds. Don't think about it, just do it. Then, I want you to change your clothes. If you've been in pajamas or sweatpants all day, put on a pair of jeans and a clean shirt. It sounds stupidly simple, but you are signaling to your brain that the lazy version of you has been clocked out and the professional version has just arrived for the evening shift. This isn't about looking good for anyone else. It's about tricking your nervous system into a state of alertness. You are creating an artificial morning in the middle of the afternoon. This sensory shift breaks the sleepwalking state you've been in since noon. Now that your body is awake, we have to fix your environment. Look around your desk. There are probably empty cans, wrappers, or just general clutter that is draining your cognitive energy. You don't need a deep clean. You need a 2-minute sweep. Take everything that isn't essential for your next task and put it in a box or another room. Clear the visual field. Your brain is a pattern matching machine, and if it sees chaos, it will produce chaotic thoughts. Once the desk is clear, light a candle or open a window. You need a sensory anchor that tells you, the day starts now. But wait, because here is where most people mess up. They try to do everything they missed in the morning all at once, and they crash within 20 minutes. To prevent that, we use a method called the merciless triage. Triaging is what doctors do in a crowded emergency room. They don't treat every scratch. They focus on the heart attacks. You need to look at your to-do list and delete 80% of it. If it's 4 p.m., you cannot finish 10 tasks. You can, however, finish 1 or 2 high-leverage ones. Pick the single task that is causing you the most anxiety, the one that's making your chest feel tight when you think about it. That is your heart attack task. Forget the emails, forget the laundry, and forget the minor chores. We are going to put all of our remaining energy into this one thing. But don't start yet. If you try to jump straight in, your brain will see the mountain of work and run back to TikTok for safety. We need to apply the frictionless entry method to make starting feel inevitable. Friction is the distance between your current state and the first second of work. If your laptop is closed and your notes are in your bag, that's too much friction for a bruised ego. Set everything up. Open the document. Put your phone in another room. Not just on silent, not face down, but in a completely different room. Now set a timer for only 10 minutes. You aren't committing to working for 4 hours, you are committing to 10 minutes of effort. This bypasses the part of your brain that is afraid of the task. Anyone can do 10 minutes. Usually, once the timer goes off, the momentum has already kicked in, and the day is ruined feeling has been replaced by a quiet sense of control. This is how you reclaim the lead. You're no longer reacting to the day, you're finally directing it. But here's the micro cliffhanger. Most of you will do this for one night and then go back to failing the next day. The 4 p.m. rule isn't just about tonight, it's about building a winter arc mentality. The winter arc is that period where the days are shorter, the weather is colder, and everyone else is slowing down. It's the easiest time to fall into the 4 p.m. trap, but it's also the best time to build a system that makes you unstoppable. To do that, you need to master the sunset protocol. As the sun goes down, your brain naturally wants to wind down, but for a procrastinator, this is when the panic usually sets in. Instead of letting the darkness trigger anxiety, we use it to trigger deep work. From 5 p.m. to 8 p.m., you are in a no-fly zone. No social media, no YouTube, no distractions. This 3-hour block is your sanctuary. During this block, we use monotasking. Multitasking is a lie that makes you feel busy while achieving nothing. In your winter arc, you are a sniper, not a machine gunner. You focus on one target until it's neutralized. If you're writing, you only have the writing tab open. If you're studying, you only have the textbook. The magic of the 4 p.m. rule is that it turns the end of the day into the peak of the day. While everyone else is checking out and starting their evening scroll, you are just getting started. This is where you pull ahead. This is where the gap between you and the person you want to be starts to close. But what happens if you hit a wall? What if the brain fog returns at 6 p.m. and the debt collector comes to call? That's where the dopamine bridge comes in. Most people think they need to quit all pleasure to be productive, but that's not sustainable for a brain in recovery. A bridge is a planned, high-quality reward that you only get after finishing a specific work block. Maybe it's a specific snack, 10 minutes of your favorite game, or a walk outside. It must be timed and it must be earned. This teaches your brain that work leads to reward, rather than reward being something you take out as a loan before doing the work. You're paying back your dopamine debt in real time. This keeps the engine running through the cold winter arc nights. You're building a machine that doesn't rely on motivation, which is a feeling that comes and goes. You're relying on a system that works even when you feel like a failure. Let's talk about the ego for a second. The reason you procrastinate is often because you're a perfectionist who is terrified of doing a mediocre job. You'd rather not try and say, "I just didn't have time," than try and realize you aren't as good as you thought you were. The 4 p.m. rule kills that fear because you've already messed up the morning. The pressure is off. You're already playing a losing game, so you might as well take some big swings. This is strategic recklessness. Use these late hours to produce raw, messy, imperfect work. Write the bad first draft. Solve the math problems poorly. Just get the ink on the page. You can edit a bad page, but you can't edit a blank one. This shift from perfect to done is what separates the creators from the dreamers. As you reach 9 p.m., you move into the final phase, the clean slate setup. Most people finish their work and just collapse into bed, leaving the mess for tomorrow. If you do that, you're setting yourself up to fail the next morning before it even starts. Take 5 minutes to clear your desk again. Write down your top 3 tasks for tomorrow morning. Place your work materials exactly where you'll sit. You are being a good older brother to your future self. When you wake up tomorrow, you won't have to think or decide what to do. You'll just execute. This is how you break the loop forever. You've turned a ruined day into a launch pad. You've proven to yourself that you are the kind of person who can save themselves from a wreck. That confidence is worth more than the work itself. I want you to think about where you were at 3:59 p.m. today. You were probably scrolling, feeling guilty, and planning to quit the entire week. But now you have a protocol. You have a way out. The winter arc isn't about being perfect. It's about being resilient. It's about knowing that even if you waste the first 8 hours of the day, you can win the last 4. That is the superpower that will change your life in 2026. You are not your mistakes. You are not your screen time. You are the choices you make starting right now. The shadows in your room haven't changed, but your internal light has. You've switched from a reacting mind to a creating mind. You've stopped the bleed. Tomorrow is going to try to tempt you back into the old ways. You'll wake up, and that familiar urge to scroll will be there like a ghost in the room. But you'll remember the 4 p.m. rule. You'll remember how good it felt to splash that cold water on your face and actually get one thing done when you thought it was impossible. You'll realize that motivation is just a byproduct of action. You don't wait to feel good to start. You start so that you can feel good. This is the biological reality of the human brain. We are designed to solve problems, not to avoid them. When you avoid the work, you feel sick. When you do the work, you feel alive. It's that simple. So, here is the challenge. It is likely after 4 p.m. as you're finishing this video. Don't go to the next one. Don't check the comments yet. Close the app, go splash the water, change your shirt. Pick that one heart attack task and give me 10 minutes of your life. Just 10 minutes. You've already ruined the day, so what do you have to lose? Salvage your ego. Salvage your output. Let's prove that you are the one in control here. You have everything you need to flip the switch. The winter arc has officially begun, and we aren't leaving anyone behind. Try this tonight. Let's level up together. I'll see you in the next one. Everyone else is sleeping. It's time for you to grow. Drawing the line starts now. Get to work.